Hi and welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing a layout using the Like Forever May kit. And in this kit we got this bright orange washi, which I like, but there's no reason for it to go back in my stash because I never think I want bright orange chevron washi. So I've cut it all into strips and I am currently layering it so one piece layers right next to the chevron and then the second piece layers halfway over the top. So you get this two-tone effect with the chevron where it's a little bit darker in places. So I layered this all up over an A4 sheet of cardstock. And now what I'm going to do is I'm getting my circle punches that I have and I'm going to punch out circles out of the orange piece. Now the circles I used are the ones that I have, which is a 2.5 inch punch, a 1 3/4 inch punch, a 1 3/8 and a 1 inch. I am building up my stash of circle punches, but at the moment they're the ones I have, so they're the ones that I've used. So I've just punched out a few there, and then when I get to the edge here I think, oh, there's going to be either a lot of circles or a lot of washi left. So I decided to also map my photo in it. So this is the point where I decided that I can get my photo on there, so let's get that matted before I use the smaller circles to punch out some more. So this is a picture of my son from quite a few years ago at a school fair where he won the filler cup that was decorated as Fred the Fish, and he was very, very pleased with his prize. So he let me take his picture, which is very rare for them to actually pose for pictures. I normally just sneakily take them. So I'm going to finish off punching out quite a few circles here, and then I will save you the boredom of me inking every single one of them in black. So that's all there now, they're inked. I have also punched a couple of circles out of the papers in the kit, mainly the lime green and the yellow, because I am doing a boy layout with a kit that does have a lot of pink in it. I don't mind a spot of pink, but I don't want too much pink. I've also brought in the black to match up with his shirt, his black shirt that he's wearing at the time. And for letter stickers, because the white ones in the kit wouldn't show up, I did pull some black ones out of my stash. And apart from glittery black ones, the only ones that I had that were a bit more blocky were these that you can see here. I have no A's, I have no E's, so I had to get quite creative with a title, which in turn ended up being separate words rather than a one-word title. So I end up with fish, and then the word fun, and then also the word win. Helped me to use up some of these letter stickers, and I will have to do something to use up some thickers soon, just because then it gives me an excuse to buy some more. So my brain is whirring on how to use up some thickers, and I'm sure I'll do a process video on that when I decide. So once I've got all these cut out, I can then start messing about with embellishments and where I want to embellish on this page. So I'm going through all the different things I have in the kit. I did look at using the buttons, but didn't want to stitch them on this layout while I'd stitched them on the last one. So I did use a few pieces of the wood veneer. So we have a little circle one that says love this, and then the little heart banner up the top. I've got a banner that says remember, and then I do bring in nearer the end a little banner that says adorable as well. So I'm just going to mess about with a few more. Oh, and I do bring in a wood veneer heart as well. So this is where I scatter a few things about, and then at this point I did decide that I wanted to move the orange circles to the bottom and type up my journaling. So I've typed up my journaling on the computer and cut it into strips, and that's gone in the big space to the left of the photo. And now what I'm doing is I'm bringing in the yellow stars that I added in from my stash from Studio Calico, and I've scattered those about the layout just to bring that pop of yellow in. And then at the top cluster I did feel as though it needed something else, but I wasn't sure what. So I had a mess through a few different bits, and then I had this punch of an arrow in yellow, which I decided brought that pop of colour up there that it needed. And even though I didn't do buttons because of the stitching, I did realise that the banners I'd added on needed some stitching to it. So I did end up sewing on this layout anyway. This time I used my black thread as it suited the layout a little bit better than the white. So I'm just going to add that to the top banner with the heart, and then also to the bottom banner that says adorable. And that will pretty much bring my layout to a close. So thank you very much for watching. I'd love to see what you do with your orange chevron washi tape, or whether you do end up putting it in your stash, and if you do, whether you reach for it later or not. There will be some close-ups coming up very, very soon, and you can see in detail what the orange chevron looks like on the washi tape, but I do like the way it looks. So I'm just securing my threads down now before I finish up and show you what the finished layout looks like. So thanks again for joining me, and speak to you all soon.